Hello and welcome to another video. As you can see today, I am not using a Halfling team. I am using an Ogre team instead because I thought it was about time there was a little bit of originality among my videos since they've all been Halfling videos so far. Now this is another team that I've made for the Forum Open League. I have made a Halfling team for the Forum Open League, but I've also made an Ogre team for the Forum Open League, and that would be this team, the Pokemuffs. And I'm not as serious about them as I am with my Halflings, but nevertheless I wanted to try out Ogres because I like the idea of them. I like the idea of loads of big dudes with Mighty Blow on them and a load of shitty Snotlings, which very similar to Halflings, but they have lower strength. They have the Titchy trait, which gives them an extra add 1 to dodge, making them very good at dodging, but they themselves exert no minus modifiers to their tackle zones, meaning if someone wants to dodge through them, no matter how many of them there are, they always do it on their base agility, as if they were dodging out of a tackle zone, basically. So it's very easy to dodge past them. And Ogres, as you can see, actually, hang on a minute. Let me turn on the grid and let me turn on numbers. As you can see with Ogres, they have Mighty Blow, Bonehead, Thick Skull, Throw Teammate. The Bonehead is the problem. When you roll 1s at the beginning, every time you want to use an Ogre, you have to roll a dice. If you roll a 2 to 6, everything's fine. If you roll a 1, however, they get boneheaded, whereby they can't do anything for that turn and they lose their tackle zone. So they become completely useless for that turn. And that's just the way it is with them. As you can see, I've only got 4 Ogres at the moment. I think my opponent's team was a little bit higher. His team value was a little bit higher than mine to begin this game, which is why I have Bomber Dribble Snot here. And he's hiding behind an Ogre. There he is. And on top of that, I think I also have a bribe. In fact, I'm almost certain I have a bribe. And at the moment, we're just in the process of setting up. As you can see, my opponent, let's see what he's got. He's got a Witch Elf, obviously, with block. 2 and 7 blitzers on the right side. 11 blitzer has nothing either. His runner number it's a lineman. His number 1 has nothing. Number 10 is a loner. Number 9 is a loner. And 4, 3 and 6 are all just general linemen. I think he should have probably put his loner lineman on the line of scrimmage. Actually, he hasn't finished setting up yet, so he'll probably do that. But generally speaking, your loners aren't going to be a permanent part of the team, so if they get injured, fuck them. So yeah, generally they're the ones you want to stick on the front line, especially since generally their only job is going to be getting hit. Having said that, I guess my opponent will be going first, since he's setting up last, which means if he puts non-loner lineman on the front, and he wants to dodge away from them and possibly use a reroll in case that dodge goes bad, then he'd be better off not having loner linemen on the front. So that might be the one reason you wouldn't want your loners on the front. But to be honest, he probably wants to keep his loner linemen next to my Ogres just to tie them up. Really, you know? As you can see, he's gone for quite an aggressive setup. Got all his guys up front. He's planning, most likely, to run down my lines as fast as possible. I haven't stuck any guys on the side because I want to basically protect Bomber Dribble Snot and keep Dark Elves out of this number 4 Ogre's tackle zone so that I can blitz particular people, cages or ball carriers, whatever, with him. I don't want anyone jumping in his tackle zone. So if they want to move down the sides, they can do so. To be honest, they wouldn't have much trouble moving down the side anyway, no matter how many Snotlings I put there, thanks to them exerting no modifiers on the tackle zones, and because they're piss weak and can be kicked over very easily. So yeah, I don't really mind. He can go down those sides as much as he wants. As you can see here, we roll the Blitz kickoff event, and I decide to break my little cage that I did have in an effort to go, and I imagine I've got a Blitz number 11, I'm sure I will. Can't quite remember. Yep. However, I am going to force myself to do a GFI to do this, but I do have rerolls, and they're not loners, so that's something. But yeah, I stuck 2 Snotlings there to get the 3 dice block, as you can see, and we successfully Mighty Blew him to the floor and stunned him. So he's temporarily out for the time being. Not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of my Snotlings. Probably recreate that cage around Bomber Dribble Snot. because if I can keep him out of tackle zones as well, that way he can actually throw bombs at people and be a real nuisance. Having said that, I have used bombers before, and they're very good at fumbling and killing themselves, usually on turn 1. So hopefully he doesn't do that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, from what I recall. And there I am filling in that part of the cage. And I attempt to do a long pass straight away with my bomber dribble snot to try and blow up some elves far away. But unfortunately he fumbles it. Yeah, I think I attempted to re-roll it. I knew it wasn't likely to work, but I really didn't want him blowing himself up off the pitch. However, he still failed because the loner roll didn't work. And yeah, and he did blow himself up, but not as bad as it could have been. He's only stunned, so not too bad at all, really. I expect bad things to happen to him. I just hope that he won't be 60 points of inducements worth of uselessness by blowing himself up and taking himself completely out of the game on turn 1. And now on to the first proper turn for my Dark Elf opponent. As you can see here, oh yeah, we kicked the ball really well, went all the way down the pitch up there, so because he set up so aggressively, he's now got to run back to go and get the ball. So that was pretty damn handy. And yeah, he's moving quite a lot of his team down there to go and not just pick it up, but to make sure it's protected. I guess he's going to create his cage down there, which is probably a good idea because he really doesn't want me throwing a snotling down there and harassing whoever's on the ball. Having said that, the snotling wouldn't be able to do too much unless the ball's still on the floor, but you never know. You never know. Might as well be safe. And so, yeah, he's moved basically his entire team down there to keep me away from that ball. Got tackle zones all over the place. I mean, I can't really move towards the ball. The only way of actually... Well, I can't move an ogre or a snotling and get near the ball in one turn, basically. I could only potentially throw a snotling to get one over there. But, yeah. At the moment, at least on his part, he's got no one left in my ogre's tackle zones, or at least no one standing in my ogre's tackle zones, meaning they can't do what they do best and punch anyone. The only thing I can do is a blitz. Here you can see I'm going to use number 2 to attempt to throw a snotling down the pitch. Unfortunately he falls over, but he doesn't hurt himself, which means he can get back up and finish off his turn. I imagine... Well, actually I don't... I'll probably just stand him up and put him there, actually, because I might well want to blitz that number 5 sidestepper. It'd be more worth getting rid of him than getting rid of number 10, who's just a generic loner. But it will be that bit harder to hurt number 5. Well, I guess it won't be, because if I roll a both down result, I'll be trying to avoid both down results, basically. If I use a both down result on the lineman, it will drop my ogre and the lineman, so at least I'll still get to attempt to break the lineman's armor with my mighty blow. But I won't get that attempt if I hit the blitzer. But if I can get one more snotling on him, well, I couldn't, so I've just gone for 2. I've just gone for the 2 dice block, and I'm going to attempt to roll 5s and 6s, and I roll 1 of each. So we are going to be knocking him to the floor, and hopefully beating the shit out of him. Yeah, he's a real irritating blitzer, this one, having sidestep on him. It can cause a lot of trouble for, well, anyone attempting to carry the ball, who he can constantly harass by moving around them, and can prove to be a real pain to lock up when you're attempting to hit him with somebody and knock him into another space for somebody else to potentially hit him, but he'll sidestep out and then dodge away with his agility of 4. But he's done for now, so again, another guy that's temporarily out. And here I'm moving my Ogres up the pitch to exert some tackle zones and just be a bit of a nuisance. I also try to keep a Snotling next to each one, both to prevent myself getting too mobbed up by opponents. I mean, he could still get a 2 dice block on, say, number 1 if he wanted to, by simply putting people in the right squares to do so. But also, I want to be able to have the option to throw a Snotling with any of my Ogres, should a particular situation arise where it's worth doing. A lot of the time it won't be, but it's nice to have that option. So as you can see, each one of these Ogres at the moment has a little Snotling assistant. Bomber Dribble Snot still on the floor over here. Hopefully I'll be getting him up and not completely forgetting about it. Oh, we go and try and commit a foul on this Dark Elf Blitzer over here, but we just get another stunned result, as you can see in the text log. That's another thing Snotlings are very good for. They only cost 20k, so foul the shit out of your opponents with them. As you can see, I've got 4 subs, so it's not like we're going to run short on players. Or at least it's not likely. And now it's onto my Dark Elf opponent's turn again. As you can see, my opponent's attempting to secure the ball. Seems to be worried that he won't pick it up. And then he runs over with his blitzer to attempt to hurt my number 6 Snotling. And he successfully knocks him clean out. And moves him down the pitch in what looks like may result in a future pass play. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I should know, because I did play this, but I can't quite recall. Did I stand up, Bomb Dribble Snot? Oh, my opponent's tempted to move his Witch Elf over to the right, does some GFIs and fails one of them, which forces him to use a reroll. Why he felt the need to set up all the way over there, I'm not too sure. But maybe we will see the reasoning for that in a moment. Did I stand up, Bomb Dribbles? Nope. Oh, maybe it's because he got stunned, yeah. Stunned by his own bomb. And number 1 picks up the ball and just stands there. I guess he was worried because he didn't have a reroll. He didn't want to risk throwing it to anyone. And so on to my turn 2. What the fuck will I do? Yes, I'm standing up Bomber Dribble Snot and I'm running him backwards. Possibly, most likely because I'm scared my opponent will try and run up to him and blitz the shit out of him. This way as well, if the Dark Elves try and run downwards past my Ogres, I've still got a player there who can be a nuisance by lobbing bombs at them. In all honesty, I probably should have at least kept one Ogre a little bit further back. But, I want to chase after the Dark Elves and beat them up. So that's why I'd probably move them all forward. Yeah. What the hell else am I doing, though, is the question. Nothing! Oh, yep. Got to move a Snotling down to that Blitzer so I can get a 3 dice block on him. And we get 2 attacker downs and a pushed. So we're just going to shove him out of the way a little bit. I go and grab my number 3 and go and move him in between 2 and 7. I guess just to be a bit more of a nuisance and force 2 elves to have to dodge away. If he gets 2 more dark elves over there though, he can use one of them to do a 2 dice block upon my lead shit scooper number 3 ogre. I move number 1 in there. Passes bonehead and passes GFI roll, so now they will not be able to get such an easy block upon number 3. In fact, all 3 of these dark elves are in a little bit of danger, and that future cage he was sort of making has now kind of been put down, at least until he dodges out of their tackle zones and puts it somewhere else. The middle, as you can see, is wide open though. I still haven't done a blitz, so I imagine I'm going to be doing that with number 4. And probably going straight over to number 1, you know, hitting number 4 and number 3 to get close to him. And I go for number 4, shove him out the way most likely, and yeah, at least get myself standing next to number 1, just to be a bit more of a nuisance. I do not want to leave my number 9 standing next to number 10 though, because I don't want him to get free hits on my Snotlings, since they're so easy to hurt. Given that they've only got strength 1, everybody and their dog gets a strength 3 block on them basically. Gets 3 dice block on them basically. So yeah, they're quite easy to knock down, or at least easier than halflings, and very easy to injure as well, given that they've only got armor 5 and then have stunty, which means 7s are KOs and 9s are badly hurt. My opponent picks up his number 5 blitzer and runs back over to that Snotling. He has unfinished business with him. He runs his number 3 around my ogre, clearly setting up for a block of some description. So that's why he moved number 5 next to my Snotling, to take away his add 1 modifier so he can get this 2 dice block on my ogre with his witch elf. And she has block, meaning she can only completely mess things up on a double 1. But she successfully knocks him to the floor and stuns him. And then he just runs around the whole affair with his number 4 lineman. Only runs his other lineman that's actually holding the ball down a little way. I imagine he might throw the ball. Might be a good time to do it and just try and run the hell away. But no, he's gonna keep him there for now. Go and stand next to my other Snotling with his number 10. All the people with dark circles under them are people who still have yet to take their turns. So, as we can see, number 7 dodges out there to stand next to a Snotling. But he's still standing right next to the ogre, so I'm not sure if that was a great idea. Again though, he's probably got his own plan in mind, which I'm completely unaware of right now. It might become clear in a moment. Oh, attempts to dodge out with number 9. Rolls a 1. Did he attempt to re-roll it? He did attempt to re-roll it, but that was one of his loner elves. They failed their loner roll and they dropped to the floor. And so the first thing I'm going to do is use my number 3 ogre to try and punch his number 7 on the right here. We get a defender stumbles, but no armor break. So we're just going to plant him on the floor over there and then deal with his number 2. All I've got to do is put a Snotling next to number 2 now, and then I can get a 3 dice block on him. But he fails his bonehead, And since it's not incredibly important that I succeed at knocking him down, you know, it's not a particularly important event that's happening down here, so I just choose to let him bonehead and don't bother re-rolling it. Would have been nice, but unnecessary, really. And now, going to hit number 11 with my number 2. Get a defender down result, which is lovely. But will I smash his armour? That's the question. Boom! Yes, yes I did. And he's dead. Okay. Oh, did he apothecary? Yeah, he apothecaried that blitzer though. Gets a badly hurt with him. And when you get an apothecaried badly hurt result, you can basically bring the player back next drive. So he's fully recovered and ready to fight again. Going to move that snotling next to number 10. I could still move this snotling over to number 10 as well, but then I'll only get a 1 dice block unless I attempt to bring down number 5. I'll have to do a GFI as well, which succeeds. Is number 5 on the floor? No, he isn't. They're so small that to see what they're actually doing behind other players is a bit of a nuisance. And number 9 comes in with a blitz. Gets a 2 dice block on him. 2 dice blitz. But rolls 2 both down results, as you can see, and knocks himself out in the process. And all the other snotlings just stand around, I imagine, giggling and picking their noses and probably their arses as well. There, that sort of thing. That's what snotlings do. I mean, look at them. Look at the bastards. Gorgeous, aren't they? Gorgeous. Okay, now it's my opponent's turn 4. Oh, bollocks, I've got to realign it. There we go. Is that... I think that's fine. Bomber Dribble Snot. Forgot he's still down here, not doing much. There's a fairly decent chance I've completely forgotten about him. But he's pretty useful down here, actually, because elves can always perform the elven bullshit whereby they throw the ball a mile over, catch it, and then leg it down the pitch before you know what's happened. And so just having him there to be ready to blast the whatever ball carrier is attempting to run down would be pretty handy. It's annoying to not be able to use him, but he's doing better in defence at the moment than he would be up here. And as you can see, my opponent's eventually formed a cage in the middle, but he's still got quite a bit of running to do to get down the end of the pitch. We've already, well, he's already knocked out 2 of our snotlings, but we've already, well, we did badly hurt a dark elf. And as you can see, number 2 blitzer over here, Simon, is attempting to knock down Bulbahor. Spelt incorrectly because cyanide don't allow you to spell the word whore. But, yeah, he badly hurts him. That's the wrong way around, you bastard. Right, there we go. Did he badly... Yep, he badly hurt him. So that is a snotling that will not be coming back for the rest of the match. No big deal, though. We still have 4 more over here, as you can see. And there's 2 knockouts. One of them is likely to recover at the very least. And he runs down his number 7. Probably getting ready, you know, good to have that option there. Run some guys down and have potential options to throw the ball to, who can then also possibly just run away from the enemy team. Luckily, we do still have Bomber Dribble Snot again. So, yeah, I think I'll be looking to throw a bomb at that boy over there. I don't want to miss me throwing a bomb at him, so I'm going to kind of try and, yeah, look at everybody in this really awful manner like this till someone does something. Oh, no. Oh, try and move my number 1, but he boneheads again. But number 3, not quite so stupid, and moves himself over just to get a little bit more in the way of that cage. Number 2 is going to go and try and punch number 4 over here. Gets defender down. And also badly hurts number 4, I think it was, who goes by the name Book. And I'm going to rush down with my previously stunned ogre, number 4 here, and blitz straight into the back of this cage. And he pummels number 3 down to the floor and stands next to the ball carrier once again. Probably mighty pissed off that he got stunned in the first place. But still concentrating on his job, going for the ball rather than going for the witch elf that put him there on the floor in the first place. Bomber dribbles not. And he throws a bomb at number 7 and stuns him. Nice one. So that potential ball receiver is now out of the picture. Or at least he is for the next turn. So that's pretty handy considering both of my... Oh, well, I could have put number 3 next to him. But I chose not to. I guess I had a lot of confidence in Bomber Dribblesnot. I don't know. I should have probably tried to put him next to him. Yeah. I don't know. I think I wanted to Bomber Dribblesnot him, and I didn't want to take the risk that Bomber Dribblesnot's throw would be inaccurate and therefore have a chance of hitting the ogre. Because if it does hit the ogre, if it hits any one of your players, that bomb knocks them over. It's an automatic turnover, which I think is a bit stupid personally, but that's what it is. You hit one of your own players with that bomb, not only do you have to deal with potentially injuring your own guy and knocking him down, but also the game decides that no, also you have to lose your entire turn over it. So you've got to be really careful with where you throw them bombs. You do not want to be blowing up your own teammates. I mean, for more than just the reason that you don't want your own teammates hurt, basically. As you can see, he's going to stand up his number 3. And it looks like he's going to attempt to knock down number 4 again. Didn't really need to, could have just dodged out the way with everybody. But, of course, he has no rerolls left. And so, yeah, one person messing that up can give him a turnover. He uses a blitzer to run in here, which is a good job he did, because he rolled both down and attacker down. And he does successfully use his block skill and pummels number 4 to the floor. But number 4 is not stunned this time, so he will be back up shortly, so long as he doesn't bonehead while he's on the floor. I think that blitz still has a little bit of movement left, so he might want to move him. Finish off whatever movement he has left to do. He moves number 9 down next to number 10. And is number 10 next to my number 8. And yeah, my snotlings, generally speaking, you don't want to form a cage by standing your players next to other players, because then they can just proceed to block the people they're standing next to and then blitz into your ball carrier. But when there's such a big strength discrepancy as it is with like elves and snotlings here, it's not such a big deal. I mean, admittedly, I still could move my number 8 and number 5, say, over next to number 9. One dice block him, potentially knock him over, and then blitz the ball carrier with one of my ogres. But it's a little bit risky. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. One dice blocks aren't too bad. I am seriously lacking in snotlings right now. I've just noticed it. I've just got the 3 here. Turn 5. And he's still in his own half. So we're doing alright. We are doing alright. He's gotten rid of a bunch of our snotlings, but we've got rid of 2 of his elves. And as you can see, I run in here with my number 3 and blitz number 9. Get a defender down and stun him as well. And again, we've got another ogre standing next to the ball carrier. This time, however, it's a bit more threatening because we've got a whole bunch of ogres in the area. And I go and stand number 2 next to number 5 and number 10. So we're putting on a lot of pressure here. He still could... I was going to say, he still could use his number 10 to punch out number 8. But instead of keeping my number 8 there, I'm going to go and just run him down a bit. So if number 10 does try and dodge out, he'll have to dodge out into a tackle zone. Admittedly, they exert no modifiers, Snotlings, so it doesn't achieve a whole lot, but it will force him to have to keep making dodges, which will, you know, increase the chance that he'll fail something. And if that happens and a turnover occurs, he is buggered with so many ogres in the vicinity that they are in right now. What am I doing, Bomb Dribble Snot? Nothing. He's still down there. Oh, moving him up. And moving him far to the left. I think it's because number 7's about to get up, and I do not want number 7 standing next to Bomb Dribble Snot, so I'm trying to keep him relatively safe. He's still not that safe, but my opponent probably has more important things to do right now than blitz Bomb and Dribble Snot. He's going to run his number 2 down. A blitzer by the name of Simon. And his number 3 accompanying him by the name of Kaylee. And his Witch Elf is going to come in and pummel the shit out of my Snotling by the name of Prikachu. What's she going to do to him? She's going to defender down him, which will probably kill him. Oh, just KOs him, so that's alright. So that's what, 3 KO'd Snotlings right now, yeah? That's good, that's good. Usually there's a lot more badly hurts. And he's going to run his number 7 down. Probably with a view to him receiving the ball. Especially since I've got no one anywhere near him. Which does make me regret ever moving my Bomber Dribble Snot so far over. Runs his number 6 next to my number 1. Keeping him from being able to move freely. And I imagine it's time he'll move his number 1 ball carrier. Yep, and he moves him down and into the makeshift cage that he's created down here to the right. Attempts to throw the ball to number 7, but completely muffs it up and throws the ball behind himself. So that's pretty good for us. Yeah, I made a big mistake at Bomber Dribble Snot there. Shouldn't have moved him so far to the left. At least if he was still relatively around the middle, I could have quite confidently thrown a bomb and had a good chance of it all working and knocking out the guy that would have otherwise received the ball. Instead, I'm going to throw a bomb right in between number 2 and number 13 and knock his Witch Elf to the floor, which is pretty cool. However, I still have the business of actually going and getting my players next to the ball. So at some point or another, I'm undoubtedly going to hit number 6 with my number 1. And that will be now. And we get a defender down and a both down. So we are going to pummel him northwards and out of the game. With a smashed knee, apparently. Who was that? That wasn't Book, that was Cortex. Going to run a Snotling up here, standing next to his Blitz number 2. Not sure why. And, oh, to get rid of the modifier. Not that it mattered. And run in here and try and pummel Aladdin with my lead shit scooper and badly hurt him too. And that is the beauty of Mighty Blow, especially, well, I was going to say on armor 7 targets, but they're not armor 7, are they? Most Dark Elves are armor 8. What is the Witch Elf? Nope, the Witch Elf is armor 7, but everybody else is armor 8. So we're just getting some pretty damn good rolls at the moment. Does always help to have Mighty Blow and Strength 5 though, so you get that much increased chance of actually successfully knocking someone down. Number 4, who's currently on the floor, boneheads and decides to stay down there. Sick of getting knocked down, he just decides he's better off if he just stays there for the time being. And all we've got left to do now is move number 10 and number 2. Gonna rush number 10 all the way around the ball so that he's not in anybody else's tackle zone, so they can't get any free hits on him, but he can still exert a pick-up modifier on the ball, and then use my number 2 to go and smack number 5. Get another defender down, Is this going to be another badly hurt? Boom! Yes, it is. Smash to the face. And, oh, we smashed his hip, so he's lost a point of movement on a blitzer, which is pretty terrible. For him, that is. At least, you know. I don't really want to do such massive injuries to them, because I'll probably never play them again anyway. So badly hurts would do fine, but, you know, a smashed hip I will take over a KO, because I want to win this damn game, and that means I need to get them filthy elves off the pitch and not back into the game at any point. As you can see, it's my opponent's turn. He attempts to hit my number 8 with his number 2, but completely fails, and my snotling dodges to the side. Charwanker stands up his number 9, Hellwhore, who runs down a little bit to look at the ball, and then suddenly stops in his tracks and goes, oh shit, there's an ogre next to it. He decides to blitz with his number 3 in an effort to knock down my number 10 Snotling, but rolls 2 attacker downs and a pushed, so only gets to push my Snotling sidestepper, who decides to sidestep right next to the ball and keep being a bit more of a nuisance. I didn't want to sidestep into the ball here and risk knocking it out of my Ogre's tackle zone, so we just stand in front of him and be even more annoying for the time being. I mean, really, it was the only place I could go to still maintain the 2 tackle zones on the ball. So, yeah. Bit of an obvious one. What's next? Gonna throw a bomb with Bomber Dribble Snot? If I am going to, it's almost undoubtedly going to be in between number 9 and number 2. In the space that's just slightly to their left, so I don't risk hitting my Snotling. But he stands up his Witch Elf. Oh, it's not even my turn, so what am I talking about? He stands up his Witch Elf and runs over to the ball to be a bit of a nuisance in preventing me from picking it up, basically. But he could still attempt to pick it up here. I mean, he'd still pick it up on a 4 or more. Or would it be a 3 or more? I think it would be a 4 or more, yeah. With them in them 2 tackle zones, and runs number 10 down next to the ball as well. So at the moment we're both being nuisances to each other, preventing each other from picking up the ball as best we can. Oh, something's going on. It involved GFIs, but I have no idea what it was. But whoever did whatever they did, they succeeded at it, apparently. There doesn't seem to be anyone in any weird places, so I must have seen it. I don't know, I'm just blind. Okay, my turn. Turn 7. Number 3 is undoubtedly going to hit number 13, and then number 1 most likely going to hit number 10. Those are my predictions. First of all, though, I try and get up number 4. He eventually decides to get up and goes, alright, and he gets back up, heads back towards the ball, despite being sick of getting punched repeatedly. Makes him feel ashamed as an ogre getting punched by elves. Number 3 is going to punch number 13. Gets a defender down. And stuns her. And now my number 1 comes in to blitz number 10 and gets a push result. And so undoubtedly knocks him to the top. Gonna run number 2 up a little bit. And yep, and we dodge number 10 out of the tackle zone number 3, pick up the ball and run up the pitch a little bit. But yep, I'm gonna have to do some GFIs to actually get him on the safer side of that cage. Well, that sort of cage-ish type thing. And Bomber Dribble Snot. Is it Bomber Dribble Snot's time? Maybe I'll move out number 8 first. Yeah. Go and stand number 8, just below that cage. Get him far away from wherever the bomb's likely to be going. Or at least sort of far away. And boom, we knock out number 9. Who's a loner called Hellwhore. So that was pretty damn handy of our Bomber Dribble Snot. He is actually being useful. This is the first game I've used him in where he's been useful. I've used him in about 4 games, and I think usually it's either turn 1 or turn 2 he's taken himself out of the game. But here he's actually being pretty damn handy. Now it's my opponent's turn 8. He dodges out with his number 10 in an attempt to blitz my number 10, but fails GFI and falls over. And then it's just a simple case of using my Magicrap, number 10 Snotling, to go and score. Unless I want to do any hits first. Nope, I just run over there and take the touchdown. And it's half time! No elf recovered from being KO'd. By no elf, I mean the one elf that was KO'd. And one of my Snotlings recovers from being KO'd. It's bloody hard to see them. But yeah, we still got 4 subs anyway, so not a big deal.